we've already beat the record that you had last year.
D&D or TTRPGs are the only game that you can scale up like this.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Andy Ashby from We Geek Together, the host of the Deadwars event. Andy, how has everything been leading up to setting up this year's event?
It's been crazy. Last year we learned a lot, and so we were like, we're gonna get on this project 6 months sooner than we did last year, and it still wasn't enough time. I'm like, okay, we're gonna just have to plan for 12 months every time. But it's been good. Like this production, I'm calling it a production because it feels like it, is such a step above what we did last year in every sense.
Yeah, I know we kind of covered some of this in our interview on our channel, which I'll put in the, blah blahs.
Doobie-doo.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
But now that we're here, we're at the event, and we can talk more in detail about all the things that are different from this year's event to last year's event. Do you want to touch on some of those things?
Yeah, so we're hosting the world record game. So getting people to come was really interesting. Last year, it was a lot of word of mouth spreading, just table by table was spreading it.
Right.
This year, we really tried to work with bringing in other names and people in the TTRPG space. So we have like Rob from Viva La Dirt League, Duke, Jason from Jason Plays or Critical Dice, Johnny Stanton from the NFL, who also is now in the TTRPG community.
Really?
Yeah. He's the pirate guy walking around. So, so we wanted to bring them on because we really want to embrace and celebrate the TTRPG community. So we don't have Guinness this year, and instead the budget that we would have gone for Guinness is bringing in these people. Like Rob flew from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about. Yeah. to come and play D&D with us. So
and not just really play cool. D&D. I've seen him helping out, like as if he's staff.
Oh my goodness. The guy was here till midnight setting out tablecloths.
Right.
And I'm like, Rob, we're paying you to be here. You don't need to be doing tablecloths. And he's like, nah, I'm here to help.
Yeah. Like you said, I love that about the TTRPG community. We're just kind of here, and we know, I think, what it's like to be here, so we want to support each other.
Yeah.
Which I love.
It's really giving.
Yeah. So what about the on-stage stuff that we've got going on? Is that any different from last year?
That's so huge. So last year, we wanted to do a live stream, and it was like a webcam hooked up to a laptop on Wi-Fi, and it was just an absolute train wreck. I think we had maybe like 3 or 4 minutes of actual live stream, and then it was just a glitchy mess, and we shut it down halfway, like a half hour in. But I made connections this year with a guy named Josh from 51st Productions.
Okay.
And he's a big nerd, and he's like, oh, hey, I do corporate live streams. Like, that's my job, is to help companies do live streams. Can I come help? And I'm like, sure. And he helped us do a Yu-Gi-Oh! Event we did in February. And he opens up a case, and he's like, this is 4 DJI or Phantom Magics. I don't know. They're like $5,000 to $10,000 cameras. And he has 4 of them. And he's like, this is what I'm going to be using to film the stage. I'm like, oh, you're the real thing. I had no clue how serious you were.
For Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, for Yu-Gi-Oh! And so, and he's like, for this one, we're going to bring a roaming camera, and we're going to have different audio inputs, and so we can do color commentary. And so 51st Productions has really head up the live stream of this thing, which is so huge because it's something I'm still learning. That's still a whole new field for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to think about when you're a producer of anything that is tabletop related. There's so many things to think about.
Yeah.
So the live stream, everybody can watch that on your website, right? We Geek Together?
Yeah, YouTube and Twitch.
YouTube and Twitch.
We Geek Together. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So for those of you that are watching live, if you want to watch it, that's where you go.
It looks amazing.
Yeah. So how do you think yesterday went?
Yesterday was good. And so yesterday was Friday's game. We had nearly 500 people play in that game. And it was really good test bed for everything we wanted to try to do on Saturday. So there was little hiccups, like we had some microphone feedback and that kind of stuff, and we had some table problems. Since we're dealing with a smaller group, it was very manageable. And so it still went very smoothly, and the game was a blast.
Right.
Like, you guys heard the crowd cheering. And, and the energy that you get when you get 500 nerds
and
playing
with the
games.
acoustics of a mall.
Yeah, the mall is very echoey, that's for sure. It was such a fun game yesterday.
Yeah. And today is expected to be like 2 to 3 times bigger.
Yeah, we have 1,000 tickets sold for today. Noticeably already the crowd is way bigger. We should be filling pretty much every table in the venue, which is nuts.
Fantastic.
And then, I'm the dungeon master for today. So I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning sweating. I'm like, oh my goodness.
What did I sign myself up for?
Because I've always been the producer. I'm the guy behind the scenes making sure things were working.
Right.
But this has always been kind of a dream of mine. And so now I get to actually do that.
That is so cool.
So cool.
Amazing. So you're going to be on stage then most of the time?
The whole time,
Got it.
I am not leaving that stage.
Wow. Together with the folks who have been in person yesterday and today, we've already beat the record that you had last year.
Yeah,
right?
So 500 yesterday, 1,000 today, that's 1,500.
And then plus
all the remote play.
Which I'm so curious to find out, and hopefully we'll report, after the fact once we get final numbers. I'm just so mind blown about how many people that's going to actually be total.
Yeah, it's not going to be huge. It's not going to be like hundreds of people. I'd be happy if we pulled in another 100. The fact that you can play remotely is such a cool aspect.
It really is.
Being able to play remotely is really exciting. It's not going to bring in a ton of people,
right?
Because this is our first time doing it, and we're still getting word out. But we will probably hit 1,500, and we'll announce the final number tonight during the closing ceremony.
So soon, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the fact that not only did you have people that are participating as actors and kind of we were saying how it makes the tables not feel like silos. They're all interactive and feel interconnected as one game because of that. But now you have the online play aspect, which I think is just another aspect of more inclusivity. Yeah, I said that right.
Yeah,
inclusivity. Yeah. Have you had any issues with the online aspect that you think you might change moving forward? Or is it too soon?
Definitely too soon. I think I already have ideas on how I want to improve it. The reporting system, I think, would be a lot better. And it would be really cool if in like real time you could see your results. Like you report it onto a website and then you see a number tick up.
Oh, there'd be like a screen somewhere.
And then maybe like you actually see the supplies like go on over or whatever you did, or maybe part of a map we'll try and highlight. That would be like
so
there's
cool.
so much. This is what I was thinking. D&D or TTRPGs are the only game that you can scale up like this. Like, think about a game of chess, right? I can play a game of chess with somebody else, and I can even host a tournament with 500 people, but that's their own games.
Right.
There's no game that I know of in the world, besides like MMOs, which are online, but those are still restrictive as their own thing. You can take a TTRPG game and you can scale it as many people want to play.
Right.
Like I can have 1,000 people playing here, and then I can have these people playing remotely. Eventually, I want to be able to have it where maybe we go on tour and then we can hit big cities.
Right.
And then, but they're telling different campaigns. They're different parts. Maybe they're different armies in different provinces and that kind of stuff. And so maybe it's New York versus Texas, or
consider
like there's
with the time zones, you could have literally a 24-hour session where like, the West Coast starts off, the East Coast finishes, now China, now
the 24-hour battle. That would be so cool.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
Right. I have so many ideas. I'm so excited.
This is so fantastic. So any other ideas that you have percolating
for next year? So many ideas. So next year...
And this is going to continue, right? Every year?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We were going to announce we're going to do it again, 2025. We don't have a date yet, but we're definitely going to get things rolling sooner.
Right.
And the thing I really the thing that really is interesting to me is this changing world that the people get to affect.
Right.
So today we're fighting these demigods. What if the demigods win?
Yeah.
They're going to become full gods in this pantheon. And so we'll have a cleric or a paladin of these gods.
Yeah.
And then in our next game, that's going to change it. But I even want even shorter before. Maybe we refine our online game process. And maybe every 2 or 3 months, we send out a remote play packet. Play it this week, report it back, and then we'll update the story.
Oh.
And they're just like little mini games, like a 1 to 2 hour game,
Yeah.
but they all will then tie into next year's big game.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be really interesting.
Before we wrap up the interview, I also wanted to touch on the fact we talked about how you have made this year, people don't just have to play D&D. They could convert it to Pathfinder, they could convert it to whatever else they needed to, and still be a part of this event. Have you heard from anybody? Do you know of anybody who has
There's
done that?
There's a few
here?
tables doing Pathfinder, I know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Any
really
other
exciting.
systems or anything else?
Not any other systems. Pathfinder's probably the easiest to convert, and that's another thing I do want to flesh out a bit more. This event and what I really want is like a celebration of TTRPGs.
Right.
And so I don't want to just shoehorn it into like just Dungeons and Dragons. While I'm a fan, it would be really cool that anyone can play the game any way they want to with their friends.
Right.
That's really important.
I was really curious about that aspect, and I wasn't sure how to find out, so I figured you would know.
Yeah. We just said the word, hey, you can do it, and the way that it's being reported in game is actually really easy because I'm more caring about objectives. Did you kill enough enemies? Did you take the mountain? That kind of, or take the hill? So I don't need to know
The
very
mechanics,
specific mechanics. So if we write our stories in mind with that, where it's mechanics agnostic, we could use any system. And then I just want to be able to support those people, make conversions really easy.
Right.
Maybe we do the conversions in-house, and it's like, here's Daggerheart, Pathfinder, 5e, and then here's a really easy way to try to convert these if you want to try to make your own versions for your own game.
Right. Man, thank you so much for spending some time with us to give us kind of a little bit of breakdown about how you're doing.
Thank you.
You are doing okay, right?
I got 5 hours of sleep last night, which is double what I got last night. So that's huge.
Hey, that's a bonus.
Absolutely. But yeah, I woke up this morning. I'm like, I'm the dungeon master. I literally was having a panic dream about how we're going to end. Because the way they ended it last night was not what was planned.
I actually heard about that.
Yeah, that was not planned. And the dungeon master came up and he was like, we have this idea. And I'm like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
and they rolled with it. And so as all good dungeon masters, all right, well, let's see what story this tells.
I love that you were able to be flexible and let them do that too.
Oh, yeah. No, like, I might TPK everyone today.
I love that you're
like,
okay with it.
Genuinely, this might be a new record for the biggest TPK ever. The way the adventure is written is either we're all gonna make it or we're all dead. But as TTRPGs are storytelling, that's the story we're gonna tell.
Right.
So it's really up into the player's hands and the captain's hands, and the dungeon master is kind of the person who weaves it all together.
I really love the symmetry. If you had the Guinness record for the largest game and then the largest TPK. I think that needs to happen.
Maybe one day.
In case that gives you inspiration.
It would kill a part of my soul. But, for the meme, for the record, that's kind of cool actually.
Right. Yeah, right? And you can have them, up together. But anyway, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you.
Everybody, watch the game online today and follow along with the plot because we don't know what's going to happen at the end of today.
If everyone dies, that's what's going to happen.
And you'll hear it from us first.
You'll see it here.
Or from them, actually.
Yeah. From both of us. Yeah. I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We really, honestly, everyone, I want to show our appreciation to Andy because he invited us here and he has been so welcoming and just given us access to things, and everyone has been so kind, and it's all because of Andy.
Wow, you guys are awesome.
Thank you.